Hi again, it's Cherry. Now, one to show for the ranked. This is Season 7 ranked. It's quite a good fun game. Bayern, straight is the map, standard 7v7, and off we trot. Now, our Bayern is set up quite differently to most people's. Basically running for brawling and out-and-out anti-air. Everything for anti-air is installed, so the module, the skills, everything else, along with the flag, gives me an AA rating of 73. Now, it's fantastic when you come up against same tier carriers because, well, the Bayern basically does very, very well against them. My experience with the Bayern is that a lot of carriers go for it because the assumption is everybody's going to go for the secondary build. And AA build is very, very good on this, and it also helps with the secondaries as well, because obviously you're looking at advanced fire training, basic fire training, which obviously help with secondary range. So basically what we're looking for is a group of ships, hopefully under normal circumstances, love it with the destroyers to take B and the team to take A, and then we can turn back in. But in this occasion it doesn't actually work out that way, because we do seem to have rather a lot of, should we say, less than eager battleships behind me. So behind me we've got another Bayern and a Warspite who don't look too eager to push in. So anyway, watch and I shall poke a few words here and there. Now, the magic with the Bayern is in the angling. Frontally, if you're looking at being fired at by other battleships, you want to be at an angle of about 5 or 6 degrees off straight forward. Very, very, very slight angle. If you're head on flat, as in nose in, you tend to take a lot of damage through the nose. If you're marginally angled, you bounce an awful lot. Biggest danger obviously is planes, in this case probably not, and then fire from destroyers, from cruisers. So here come the carrier strike with the help from the Cleveland, who for some reason their carrier attacked the Cleveland. We can take down a few planes. I have no idea what would occur to a carrier player to attack a Cleveland, but hey, it's done the job. The Cleveland's out of the picture. So as you can see, looking behind, we've got 2 battleships that are running the opposite direction of the enemy team. We have myself in the Bayern attempting to, should we say, tank. Which is basically what the Bayern's for. Now I can start coming under concentrated fire because the Warspite and the Bayern at the back are still at the back. Now this here is where a little bit of teamwork comes in. This Farragut was the consummate team player the whole game. Absolute consummate. So I've just taken a big wallop off the Fuso. Gonna hit my brakes because the lovely Farragut has dropped me a huge smoke cloud. And this is a recurring theme in this game. Team play. Team play. Little enough of that seen during ranked battles, to be truthful. So it's a nice long Farragut smoke. I've got about a minute 20 to play with, so I can start chomping away at the enemy ships. Now the Farragut is going to do exactly what I would expect a Farragut to do. He's going to come around the back of me and then he's going to light up the enemy ships. Just now I need a case of finishing off that Fuso.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
No point in firing at the Fuso, he was heavily angled, so it's more worthwhile going for that New Mexico that was broadside on. Now back to the Fuso, try and drop some shells through his tail. Using the front guns on the New Mexico, the rear guns on the Fuso. Gonna eat a torpedo, doesn't matter too much. Ha! Or not, as the case may be. Picked up the cap,
Concentrate fire on the designated.
start reversing out the smoke because the smoke's about to dissipate.
Hang in there. Help is on the way.
Basically, once the smoke dissipates, I want to be moving forward. I don't want to be sitting stationary, I'd rather be moving. So let's get the throttle up. There we go, smoke is starting. And now begins the bow tanking. As is normally seen in higher tier battles, whack it in reverse, start using the guns. Just really want rid of that Fuso out of choice. Bayern's very good in reverse. Gonna reverse back behind the warspite, let him take some damage. And get some fire back on the battleships. Bayern guns are very accurate at short ranges, short to medium ranges, 10 to 12 kilometers. They're perfect. The issue is when you try long range sniping, it's like a crapshoot. Gonna pull out, wait for the farragut to come back, let him lay another smoke cloud, and then we can do the same as we did before. I have faith in that farragut. His name is D-Trek, by the way. And if you see him in a ranked battle, look after him, because he's one of the very few destroyers you see these days that actually do what they're supposed to do. Smoke, spot. Smoke, spot. Smoke, spot. It's not rocket science. Here comes the carrier again. Torpedo bombers incoming. Get the AA locked onto it. And let the anti-air deal with the carrier. Which it does very, very well on the Bayern. Very well. Again, carrier got torpedoes off. Gonna eat the lot, but hey, who cares? It's a Bayern. Can repair most of that. It's cruiser and destroyer torpedoes that really do the harm on Bayerns. Carrier ones just don't do enough damage. So back into action again. Let's get some shells away on the new mechs. Gonna eat a few from the new mechs. Just need to retire and get some health. We are down a carrier and a cruiser now compared to a cruiser, so we've lost our carrier, they haven't. Our carrier was unfortunately parked bolt up against an island at D9. Not a great spot. Really not a great spot, unfortunately. Get some shells on the Fuso from the rear turrets. Bring the fronts round. Having a go at those planes again and take a big hit off a new mechs. As you can see, our intrepid Bayern and Galosnier are hiding behind an island, unable to shoot at pretty much anything. So at the moment, up front, it's myself at very low health and a Farragut. And that is pretty much it. We have no fighter cover, we have no planes, we are quite literally on our own. And still the other Bayern's running away. Nothing to shoot at, nothing shooting at him, and he's full health. That is a classic example of not team play. And your name is Gecko1967, which reinforces my opinion of people with long strings of numbers after their names. 9 times out of 10, they are shit. Put bluntly, they're shit. Just hoovering up the last of the planes that come over. Try and bow tank here with all of 9,300 hit points. Have a full health New Mexico pretty much and a half health Fuso against a, say, 15% Bayern. It's not looking epic, is it? And our other Bayern is again around the back of the island playing with the fairies. So basically I'll try and sucker them in so the destroyers can get them, or we can get them broadside like this with guns from the front guns. Shots like this are beautiful for a Bayern. Spot on. So far we're down a cruiser, a carrier and a battleship. They are down 2 cruisers. They still have all 3 of their battleships intact. And we have our battleship sitting where? Going around the back of the islands where he can't shoot anything. Yeah, it says it all. So unfortunately I'm having to back off here. Just can't afford to take any damage. Bouncing lots of shells. Just vainly hoping that that Bayern at the other end of the map finally gets his finger out and actually gets involved in the game. We've now down to 2 caps. We are up on cap points, but we're losing the counters. We're definitely down on ships. I'm not quite sure now. Can't remember how this game went.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
And once more, Gillis in the air, French thing, behind me. Not firing, unspotted, just sailing around like a, well, who knows. Who knows what goes through these people's mind. Just trying to get some solid hits on the New Mexico. Gonna have to push back in again. Still got 10,000 hit points, so we're at 20%. It's not the end of the world. New Mexico has currently just over 31,000 hit points. So really need to do some damage to that thing. And our Bayern is now running for the bottom left hand corner, nowhere near any of the caps, because he's got himself completely out of position on his own, because he's a cock.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
That's the destroyer gone, so that makes life a little bit easier because now our DD can roam freely. But broadside onto New Mexico, not a good place to be, as you can see. Take a hit through the nose. Got no repairs left. However, then New Mexico does appear to be shooting at a destroyer behind, at the cruiser behind me, which is kind of funny. Now he's bringing his guns around on me, and this is where I make a monumental cock up, which is going broadside onto New Mexico, and I think this is where I die. Yeah, not good. So we're now down to 4,300 hit points, no heals, and we are barely ahead on points, but we are going to lose the points due to the cap. And that's the Fuso finished off. So it's reversed now. We have a destroyer, a cruiser and a battleship against a battleship and a carrier. The Bayern is at just under half health. I'm on not a lot. Time to try and pick up this cap.